Right.
Andy, sorry to get back to you.
No, you're all right, fine. Right, good afternoon, gentlemen, and thank you very much for attending this afternoon's press conference. The news about the appointment of Brian McDermott is well known now, and so I think what I'd do, apart from obviously wishing Brian every success in his role, and indeed Nick Hammond and Nigel Gibb, the assistant, Brian's assistant, is just open up to a few gentlemen to ask questions of either myself or Brian.
Brian, first of all, your response to getting the job full time, are you relieved that it's all been sorted out now?
First and foremost, I'm delighted. You know, it's a great opportunity. It's a terrific club, and I've known the chairman a long time now, and it's a great chairman to work for. So we've got really good staff here, and we can't wait to get going.
Did you feel you were on trial, or was that the arrangement? Did you have a certain amount of time in which to prove yourself that you could do the job?
The chairman just asked me to look after the team affairs, and that's what I did. And you know, I've enjoyed every minute of it really. And I think we just the chairman wanted to wait for the right time, and the right time's come, and here we are.
You obviously got results in the cup competitions, but no wins yet in the league. Did you feel, in dropping down into the bottom three and without the results going away in the league, that perhaps you might not get that chance to take it on full time?
No, I think the performances on the pitch have been generally good, and you know, we now look at the next game, which is Barnsley. We're trying to just take one game at a time and try and win the next game, and that's vitally important. I think once you start trying to look too far ahead, you know, people start getting anxious, and that's not what we want to see. We've seen decent performances. Obviously, the cup's been a real bonus, and we're looking forward to that next game against West Brom. The first thing is the Barnsley game, and it's an opportunity to play in front of our own fans. Out of the 5 games that I've had, 4 have been away, so they have been difficult. But for me, the season starts with 20 games now, and as many games as we can get in the FA Cup.
If I can ask the chairman, I mean, you said at the time when Brendan Rodgers went that you were going to take your time over the appointment of a new manager. What was it that Brian's done in the meantime to convince you that he's the man to take the club forward?
Well, I think to Brian's credit, he came to see me, and as Brian's already intimated, we go back a long way. Brian's been at the club 10 years, and during that 10 years he's done so many different roles at the club. You know, I don't think he had a good pedigree before that, Arsenal and so on. And indeed, when Brian was looking after the reserve team during the time we were in the Premiership, managed to get some silverware for us. He knows the club intimately, he knows how we work, he knows our ethos, and it was just a question of time to see how Brian got on with being in charge of the team, and as far as I'm concerned, he's settled in very nicely, has the respect of the squad, a lot of whom he knows already because he's been with the club such a long time. So it was a no-brainer really. I mean, you can sort of appoint a manager. In fact, you can sign players. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work. And with Brian, we have somebody, as I say, that's just such a normal fit. It's great. I mean, you know, you have lots of endorsements around the place, even by Steve Coppell, which was quite important in my thinking. So yes, you know, it was just a question of making sure that Brian could handle it, and when I obviously realised that he could, then it was just a question of cementing the appointment.
Was there a contingency plan? Were there other names in the frame? Were you at the stage where you maybe spoke to people, sounded a few people out?
There were lots of names in the frame, as you might imagine. We didn't actually openly advertise the position, but as you well know, when a football club loses a manager, there's a plethora of applications come through, and we obviously sifted through those, or at least Nick Hammond did. But at the end of the day, we prefer to grow our own. We think Brian's a great guy in football. I've worked closely with Brian for a very long time. I have no hesitation about giving Brian the job.
You said there were lots of applications and you sifted through them. Were you ever at the stage where you actually contacted or spoke to any other?
Well, I certainly didn't. Whether Nick Hammond did or not, you'll have to ask him, but I certainly didn't speak to him.
I've seen a few comments on some fans' websites where they've suggested that perhaps appointing from within is perhaps the easy option, particularly when they've seen some of the names that were mentioned, certainly in the media, of who were linked to the job. What's your response to that?
Well, I think you know, you don't just have to look at football, you can look at any industry, and I think you'll find, largely speaking, yes, you can appoint from outside, but somebody that actually knows the culture, and you know it's the least risk way of approaching the situation. If you appoint from outside, there's going to be things that the incoming manager doesn't like or doesn't understand, and so on and so forth. He doesn't quite get the culture of the club, and so on. Then things have to be changed, which is upheaval. Do we need upheaval? The answer is no. We have a very good fit within the club as I speak, and we're delighted with what Brian's done thus far. We've had 2 major wins in the FA Cup, and we've had some very, very tricky games away in the league, and we've had the snow and so on disrupting training and so on and so forth. So I'm very confident over the next 20 games that we'll get our act together and start climbing up the charts. Does that answer your question, young man? Does it?
Yes, it does.
Oh,
yes,
good. Well, it's all right, isn't it?
You brought in a few players in the transfer window. Is that it for January now? Is the squad that Brian has now the squad that he's going to work with from now to the end of the season?
Well, as I understand, there's a few days left, and we're just waiting to see. But you know, it's been a very quiet, you know, period actually. A lot quieter than other years. I mean, last year was quiet, but this is even quieter than last year. So I think it just underpins what's going on around the place, and I think we have to look at it in the round. I mean, you know, here at Reading Football Club, you know, we're no different to a lot of clubs at the moment, and the receipts are down, and there's just not the vast sums of money swirling around in football it was a couple of years ago or more.
Brian, are you happy with the squad that you have now, or will you be going to the chairman in the next few days and saying I can still do with another striker or another defender?
Have a private chat outside anyway. No, I'm happy with the squad. We've got good players here. You know, I've added some experience to the squad just recently, and we're just looking to take them on now and getting up the tape.
Well, you know, you've been obviously working on the background for 10 years or so. In that time, you always still have your eye on a manager's job one day, or?
No, Anthony, I thought at the time what happened with the previous manager, it was right for me. It just felt like the right fit, and I wouldn't have suggested, if I felt it was wrong, I said that to the chairman. But I'm comfortable in the role. I'm happy in the role, and I think I'm the right man for the job. And as the chairman says, I know the culture of the club, I know the players well, I know the staff, and I know what we're all about really. And I think that's really, really important.
Does you feel your role has changed already in the dressing room, sort of thing? You know, now you're the manager, sort of thing, and not the caretaker and all that.
Well, my role certainly changed.
Yeah.
Not from the caretaker. I wasn't overly concerned about that, apart from the name. I don't like the name caretaker.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's better than acting, I suppose. So.
But you know, are the players different with you already, or do you feel there's any?
No, I don't think so. I think it's a mentality thing.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's important that we've got the clarification now. You know, and they know where they stand now. They know who the manager is, and we can all move forward now.
Well, it's a tough job, I suppose. You're 4 points, I think, behind Palace. I suppose it's the 21st place team, isn't it?
I think it's a great job. You know, you come into work in a terrific environment, a fabulous club. We've got really, really good supporters and a good fan base, and I'm working for the chairman and good people, and I've got good staff around me, so it's a great job.
And chairman, was it your decision ultimately, or was it a board decision sort of thing to?
Well, it's always ultimately my decision,
yeah.
but you know, I always like to take my board with me, which isn't very difficult because I've only got one member on the board. But no, I mean, you know, we do things together. We don't just make any decisions unilaterally. But no, you know, I think we're all very delighted with the process, and you know, I'm delighted that Brian's you know, sort of had the inspiration and so on to do the job that we want him to do, and it's been a revelation, I have to say, since Brian's been in charge.
And you mentioned Steve Coulter there, how much you obviously sought his advice on it as well, and I know Steve has said a few things on sort of television, giving Brian his support as well.
Absolutely, well, there you go. He said it in public, so it's all needs to be said.
Brian, would you have swapped those wins in the FA Cup for wins in the league?
No, the games are what they are. I don't think you can take a game in isolation. You try to win the game. We're doing that in the league. The FA Cup's really, really important to us, and I think it's important to the fans, and it's put us back on the map, in my opinion. I think the Liverpool game, to go to Anfield and to win, no one can ever take that away from this football club, and people will talk about that in 20 years' time. And it was really, really important, and then to beat another Premiership side in Burnley, a fantastic achievement. We now have to go on to Barnsley and try and get 3 points.
What are your thoughts sort of ahead of the Barnsley game? They've been up on tough ones. Team doing alright, aren't they?
Yeah.
Started off badly, but from the table now.
Yeah, they've got a new manager, and he's done a terrific job in a short space of time. They won again the other night, so we know it'll be a tough game. But we're playing at home, and I'm really, really looking forward to it.
How important are the fans going to be from now until the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, the fans were really, really important against Burnley, for example, last week. The more we can get in the ground, if we can give them something to cheer, they will get behind us. They are fabulous fans to play for. Even if it's going poorly, they don't really get on the players' backs. And all I'd ask them for is to give the players 100% support, because it means a lot to them.
Can you pinpoint, Brian, why the team can go and beat teams like Burnley, go to Anfield and beat Liverpool, and yet you find yourselves where you are in the Championship?
I think it's been over 20 odd games only we've had. We are where we are. We need to address it and get it right now. I mean, the last few games we've had good performances, even at Sheffield United the other night. You look at the game and we got beat 3-0 and it looks like we've been well beaten, but we showed the players the video of our chances and our opportunities. We didn't defend well the other night at certain points, but I know if we keep creating, we do what we have to do at the other end defensively, we'll have no problems.
You still got confidence of the strikers between them haven't got a huge amount of goals this season. Do you feel the strikers you have will get the goals, but you need to push them up?
I think we need goals from all parts of the pitch. If we can get our centre half scoring from set plays, and if we can get our midfield players scoring and our wide players, and the strikers are getting chances, and that's the key. They've got to keep going in there and being brave, and if they do that, we'll score goals.
There's been some talk of Matt Mills and some interest in him or whatever. I mean, do you expect to lose any players?
I haven't heard anything. I've had no phone calls.
I think Kevin Blackwell sort of publicly, well, it's in the newspaper up there, I think. It's just saying he was interested, he's one player they looked at or something.
Okay. No, well, Matt's got inside now and he's doing very well, so we're pleased for him. So, no, I've heard nothing as far as that's concerned.
And still something could happen the other way, possibly still maybe somebody coming in, maybe.
We've had that conversation.
Yeah, just wait and see sort of thing.
Yeah.
Chairman, was there any reason why it was announced today that Brian would take the role on full time?
No, it's yesterday actually, but never mind. Well, not really, no, as I previously said. I mean, Brian's been getting into the job. We felt, just give Brian a bit of time. I mean, we could have announced it after Anfield, but we just felt we needed a bit more time. And I think now it's just about right. There's nothing we sort of gave particularly deep sort of thought about really. I think it's just nice to let Brian get his feet under the table, so to speak, and we just feel very comfortable with the we could have possibly made the announcement before, but we haven't spoken to Brian several times during this period, and he was enjoying the challenge, let's say. He got a good rapport with the staff and of course the players and his assistants and so on. So this seemed about the right time to announce his appointment, and I'm delighted that we have. And I think we've appointed a great manager, but will in the fullness of time show what a great manager he is.
Just a thought on Crystal Palace. Obviously the situation in the league, they've deducted points, that helps you a bit, but it's not a good thing for football to see the situation we're going through at the moment.
Well, I think there's an enormous warning there you know, about clubs being, well, I'm not talking about Crystal Palace, by the way, but just, I think people have to appreciate how difficult it is in football these days, that, you know, I keep banging on about, you know, cutting the coat according to the cloth. I mean, at Reading, I think we're reasonably well run, and we are. But, you know, it's very, very tough and very exacting. You know, you've got to be very careful because, obviously, due to the downturn, I mean, the receipts are not there that they were. I mean, the receipts are way down on what they were before the recession, 60%. And we still have to make ends meet, and we still have to go forward. But we're determined to do that, and I think we're best qualified to do that with Brian at the helm, quite frankly. Because he's got a very good understanding of our academy, where obviously we're going to source quite a lot of the future stars. And we feel we're very well placed to ride the storm, and that's what we're all about.
There's obviously been news of another takeover last week with West Ham and everything. Is there any news in terms of Reading? Is Reading still primed for a possible buyout, or is there any developments on that front?
Only if you find one, actually.
I'll be looking, honestly.
Well, I would say this, that you know, what we're all about as a community club, we have first-class facilities, as Brian's already mentioned. We have a fabulous club, and I'd urge all the local community to support us wholeheartedly. You know, it's not about winning all the time, it's about being part of something. And you can't win all the time, nobody can. But, you know, we have a big heart at Reading, and we're going to go forward, and we're going to get back into the Premiership. It may take longer than I wanted it to, but we will achieve that end. We'll do it in the right way, not the wrong way. And I'm delighted with Reading Football Club. I'm delighted with the fan support. I wish it was more, and I'm sure it will be. I'm delighted with the staff at the Madejski Stadium, the players, the manager. You know, we've just got something really good going. I want people to subscribe to that.
You look at the upcoming fixtures, you mentioned 4 of your 5 games, Brian, have been away. This next small batch of fixtures against sides sort of in and around it, it's going to be massive come May, isn't it?
I think Saturday's massive. You know, that's the only game that I look at. I look at Saturday and I think we've got to try and win that game, and then we move on after Saturday. Never go down the road of trying to predict or forecast. It's pointless. I think that just makes for anxiousness around the place, and it's not the way to do it. So I look at Barnsley, and then after that we move on. It's the only game I do.
And do you look at the job and the impact that Mark Robbins has had there, and think, you know, do you take inspiration from someone coming in and changing it around so quickly?
I take inspiration from a lot of people, but no, I mean he's done a really, really good job there, and I'm pleased for him. But we've got our job to do here, and like the chairman said, we've got fabulous staff and we've got a good group of players, and we look ahead to Barnsley and looking forward to it.
You mentioned there that you take inspiration from a lot of people. Would you be on the phone to say Steve Coppell at all, who of course knows this club so well and you know well? Would you be speaking to the likes of Steve Coppell for advice?
I speak to many managers, and obviously Steve's a friend of mine as well, so I speak to Steve, and I speak to numerous managers really, so yeah, it's important to do that.
But in terms, you speak to them, but would you actually ask for advice? People who have been in this situation, found themselves in this position in the table?
Not particularly, no. I just think that we have to do what we have to do, and I'm in this position. I've been around in football for 30 odd years. I know what's required, and I know how to win games. And you know, we know we've got to get results, and we'll do it.
You must feel this is the start of what could be you know, a very long and healthy managerial career, Brian, really, in a sense.
Nearly 50 now.
I know, but you know, you know, so Alex Ferguson's what, 70?
Yeah, I kind of think as well. You know, you get to a certain age, and you know, I don't think it's a bad age to start.
Yeah.
And I've had a long apprenticeship. Let's be that.
Yeah, we don't want to get him coached just yet.
No, no. No, and it's, you know, to be fair, it's almost a brave thing to do as well. You know, obviously given Reading's position in a sense, you know, we're trying to, I suppose you want to prove yourself as well, sort of thing. And
I just thought it just feels right. It was the right thing to do, and it was the right fit for my opinion, for the football club at this moment in time. So you know, I'm a great believer in that. I just thought it was right.
And you also got a lot of support with Nigel Gibbs and people like that. You feel you've got a good team around you.
Yeah, I've got a really good team around Nigel, and he's a really good coach, and the players will really get on with him, and he's great around the place and very bubbly, and we've got really good staff around the place.
Any plans to add any more background staff, any more members of background staff?
No, not as we speak. We've got good staff in place and good academy, as the chairman says. So we're going with what we've got.
Any more, gentlemen, or is that the lot? Anyway, thanks very much for turning up this afternoon. It's very good of you.